What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Bear Show. I'm Ivan Vargas. Bears win. It's a victory Tuesday. I'm just not all that pleased with how it played itself out and how the Bears are operating, especially on offense. But before we go ahead and get into things, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to The Tape Never Lies. Go to www.thetapeneverlies.com and become a patron today. The best $7 you can invest in. You'll get the best Bears content on the planet. You'll get breakdowns from DDP, Draft Dr. Phil. You'll get pop-up shows. You'll get more breakdown shows. You'll get nonstop Bears content, the best you could ask for. All right. Bears win 12-10 over the Minnesota Vikings. I like the fact that we got the win. There are some good things that we can dissect off of another turd of a performance, at least from the offense, right? There's a few things that I saw that were good. There's a lot of things that I saw that were just infuriating. But we'll start with the good part. We'll start with the defense. The defense was on fire. Like, quite honestly, there's hardly anything bad I can really talk about the defense. They came out firing. They came out aggressive. The defensive line was moving bodies. Montez Sweat had a sack. He had a sack and a half. You had Brisker in on a sack. You had guys getting around Josh Dobbs and really frustrating him. And he was flushed out of the pocket plenty of times, hit plenty of times, ended up throwing 4 interceptions. Jalen Johnson could have had three. Ended up with one. One of them could have been a pick six. And I think that was Jalen Johnson's best game as a Chicago Bear so far that I've seen. Like, quite frankly, he was just everywhere. And maybe he's not taking it personal, or maybe he is taking it personal with the contract situation. Nonetheless, he's been playing pretty damn well as of late. You know, you look at other guys who got an interception. Brisker, you had Gordon in on a pick, which was actually pretty just athletic play from him with Justin Jones, tipping it up, bobbling it, and then it just kind of falling, and Kyler Gordon jumping underneath it to save it for the Chicago Bears and getting another turnover. And TJ Edwards generates another interception. So, you know, and TJ Edwards quietly has done a damn good job for the Chicago Bears at linebacker. He's, one of the tops in the league in tackles. He's he's been able to find the ball when it's, presented to him, if it's popped up in the air, or if he just goes ahead and reads the quarterback from the jump. He's finding the ball, getting turnovers for us. He's doing a hell of a job, in my opinion. He deserves a lot of praise from Bears fans and the Bears themselves. Looking at what could have been, Jalen, we want to talk about back-to-back games. Could have had pick sixes, but to me, it's about just consistency with his play. If he gets one interception, fine. But if he's causing, which he did, I think he was in on the play that caused the TJ Edwards interception that popped it up in the air. But if he's just around the ball causing havoc and then generates maybe more turnovers than, 1 in 3 seasons, I'll say that, then they could really talk about, hey, man, maybe he does deserve some extra money. But for me, as much as we talk about how this is a big, important string of games for Justin Fields and the offense, it's definitely a huge string of games for the defense, and in particular, Jalen Johnson. So for him to continue to play like this, it's very pleasing. Like, you're happy that he's finally consistent. Like I said, actually, there it goes right there. I'm watching, or I have the replay of the game on. It's been pretty much on all day, but that play in particular just happened right now. And 2 hands on the ball, you got to come down with it and take it back to the house. He's going to get there, I feel like, if he continues to play like this and continue to be in the right spot, playing aggressive. I know in the broadcast they had mentioned him talking about feeling like the best corner in the game. I don't know about that right now, but keep the confidence. I mean, keep the confidence. we'll see. Just continue to do what you're doing right now. Montez Sweat getting home again. That one, the closing speed on him was just impressive because you had Josh Dobbs flushed out to his left, and Montez just closed in like if he was just a heat-seeking missile. Boom, gotcha. And if you can continue to get these types of performances from Montez and the defensive line as a whole, that secondary will continue to look better and better. And then you get a guy like Tyler Stevenson back, or Tyreek Stevenson back, hopefully soon, sooner rather than later. I think he'll get even better. So we'll see about how the defense continues on. As of right now, I'm very, very pleased with how they performed. You just wish that they could get a little help. And I know that's been a theme for Bears fans for decades, right? If only the defense can get a little help from this offense, then we can really get things going. But that's the problem, is that we're not getting help from our offense. And I know everybody wants to point fingers either at the OC, the quarterback, the head coach. I think it's all of the above are at fault, right? All of the above when it comes to execution, when it comes to specific strategic play calling in certain spots, when it comes to recognizing the situation and why and what your player does best and executing it that way. I think Justin had a lot of meat left on the bone, and I keep saying that in some of these good games, right? And some of these, okay games that he's played. And it's just not pretty. You can't continue to think that way and expect that the Bears are just content with him being their quarterback in the future. I think that quarterback at the top of the draft is still very much in play. I know a lot of people want to, kind of kill that talk and say trade it. I've thought about trading it as well and keeping Justin, but these inconsistent performances have to stop. Like you can't put the ball on the ground twice and expect people not to demand more from you. And the Bears could have lost that game, probably should have lost that game if it wasn't for a great defensive performance, like we mentioned before, from the Bears. And to be honest with you, and he kind of saves his own ass. Justin Fields, later at the end of the game, that last drive was just it was exactly what you want to see from Justin Fields at his best, right? Moving the pocket. He's on the run, throwing darts to people. He's able to pick up yards with his legs, finding the open guy downfield, decisive. That throw to DJ Moore at the end of the game was just a thing of beauty. It was a dart. I don't think there was nobody else but DJ Moore going to catch that ball, and it was on the money in between the numbers. And you're just impressed by that. Like, he was able to overcome the adversity and get, and finally have and I know they said that he had 2 other game-winning drives. We've been so bad I can't recall. So to me, it was like the first one that I can remember from Justin where he won the game at the end, and he wasn't he almost was, but he wasn't the reason you lost the game. He found a way to win it himself. So with that, I'm impressed. What I'm not impressed by, and I have like a list of good and bad things just kind of like scattered here, but what I wasn't impressed by was the missed throws. There was a few missed. Actually, he had multiple wide receivers that were open downfield still. And I understand some of the situations the pocket was collapsing and caused him to have to deviate from the play. But there's still plays that it's just clear as day. Justin, why aren't you settling down and delivering the ball to the open man? Why is it is it because you're being told you look for this? Are you just locking on one guy because you think, okay, I got to get the ball spread around. Let me lock on Moon this route. Or this play. Let me lock on Cole this play. Like there's things I still have questions on about Justin that it makes me unsettled about how this team is going to go about addressing this quarterback situation and how they're going to put Justin, if it is Justin or any other quarterback for that matter, in a position to succeed if they can't figure out their own identity with the players that they have out on the football field. If they can't establish a consistency with the guys that they have, out there for them, I just don't know how. I don't know the end game. I don't know the end game. If they keep Eberflus around and Luke Getsy around, okay, do they keep Justin and we run it back and we see the same inconsistencies, or do they think that they're going to finally get over the hump in year 3? And Justin in year 4, year 5, or year 4 or 5? It's a huge stretch. It's a huge ask to ask your team to become something else overnight, and I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. Like I said, I like Justin overcoming the 2 fumbles late, delivering on that final drive for the winning field goal by Cairo Santos, but you can't have these missed throws. All right, I mentioned the fumbles, so I'll skip over the fumble. Obviously, can't fucking put the ball on the ground, Justin. It's. I don't want to, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but we're gonna have to beat this dead horse because it's still like kicking. Like, why do you keep putting the ball on the ground? I know one of them, he was trying to escape the pocket. Excuse me. He was trying to escape the pocket, and an arm came across. I think it was Daniil Hunter's arm came across, and just his forearm knocked the ball out. Okay, I can understand that. You're trying to step up. You're trying to make a play. His eyes were still downfield. I believe his eyes were still downfield. He's still trying to make a play in the passing game, but you got to be able to cover the ball. The distinction or the change from runner to passer, you got to know that you just can't loaf of bread it the whole time. And Justin does a okay job of protecting on the run, but like lately, it's just you got to be more aware. You got to really honestly just full back that shit. Mike Allstott, 2-hand through the hole, and then or 2 hands when pressure's on you, and go from there, because I think you're trying to force a play and you're keeping the ball a little too loose from your body, and that's what's causing it. It's just you got to know when it's done, right? You got to know when it's done. You got to know how to protect the ball and when to protect the ball. Let's see, was this Coach Dre? Justin needs to see the quarterback guru, same guy Hurts did last offseason. Well, yeah, Justin needs to, I think, new voices, fresh thought could be beneficial. I think it could be beneficial. Whether Justin does that on his own, or whether the Bears go ahead and bring in new personnel for him, I think he could benefit surely from another set of eyes on him, some different critiques. I think he could benefit from that for sure. Going forward with this review of the game, DJ Moore. I talked about DJ. DJ had a fantastic game. He's breaking tackles, making some amazing plays out there, as a playmaker should do, right? As your playmakers are expected to do, otherwise they wouldn't be playmakers. So DJ Moore went out there and he did his thing. Although 6 of those passes, 6 of the 13 targets, or the 11 catches, were screens, right? I'm gonna get to the screen thing in a minute. DJ is probably the only guy that I would trust throwing to on those bubble screens. To be honest with you, everybody else, I feel a little scared to send it over there. Just ball security or just the ability to break tackles, because it just seems like they're keying in on it. And one of the Vikings rookie cornerbacks, I believe it was Blackwell, almost took it to the house. He actually read one pretty well on Darnell Mooney, I believe, and was able to make the break up the play. But you see rookies keying in on your play calling now. That just shows to show you, Luke. I don't think he understands how to beat certain blitzes. I don't think he understands how to correct his offense to beat this Vikings team in particular. Because it just seems to me every time they play the Vikings, they're kind of clueless with how they want to approach their attack on offense. Anyway, well, let me go ahead and bring this guy in. He was in the background for a little bit. I didn't see him pop up. Christopher Jackal.
Yep. What's up, brother?
What's up, dude? How are you?
How you doing? Kids are asleep now, I hope. So here we are. Fucking Bears Tuesday,
right.
Victory Tuesday.
Victory Tuesday. I was no, I'm not dancing. I'm not dancing. And you know what? Let's go ahead. Actually, now that you're here, I'll stop from talking about the game for a bit. Let's go ahead and show the aftermath of this, because I don't know. Is this how you felt? Like, is this how you felt after the game, Jackal? Because I didn't. Let me bring up the screen here. I did not, and I don't know. I mean, a win is a win, but this was like you just got into the playoffs type of win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like type of celebration. So let's go ahead and just check it out. There's another one I got of you. Actually, let me go ahead and play that. Well, let's talk about this.
Club Dub.
That's Club Dub. That's Club Dub. Like that's what. It's never changed. It's never left. Club Dub. When you're winning by 2, and I get it. You get your first. You get your first division win like ever as a head coach. It's just cringe to me that they're going to go ahead and celebrate like that after the performance they had. The defense might be able to celebrate like that, but the offense and everybody else, like I would be sick to my stomach. Even with the win, I'd still be sick to my stomach. Like, man, we need to clean this shit up.
Yeah. It's tough, man. Seeing that, you obviously winning in the NFL is hard. If anybody knows that, it's Matt Eberflus, who just, hey, you won your first NFC North. You broke your cherry, what have you. But still, I mean, act like you've been there before is my biggest thing. And it's a winning culture. It's not a surprise we won. Let's go fucking nuts. We're on to the next one. Let's fucking go. Come on. What are we doing?
I like what Logan's saying here, though. He's right. You won a game. Like you haven't won many. You haven't won many games, but to celebrate this way, like if it's going to continue that like this, like it just looks embarrassing, man. Everybody else, that game was so bad that they were happy it ended. When it did, they even said it. Joe Buck play the Benny Hill music, the Benny Hill theme music.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, that's how it felt. And it's not the first time you've heard commentators express this about the Chicago Bears and whoever the hell they play. It's that bad. Al Michaels in particular.
Troy Aikman laughed at him last night on that last screen. He was just, he just basically he's like, and another screen by Getsy. It's laughable, to win that game. No touchdowns, 4 field goals. Good for Cairo, but it's a tough one, man. It's an ugly win. It's nice to get those if you're battling for a playoff position. Right now, we're sitting at 4-8.
If this is a playoff team, like you just said, nobody gives a fuck if they won ugly. It'll be an anomaly. It'll be a one-off. If they were a consistent team and this team won like that ugly, we would be like, man, that was a tough fucking game. Like, wow, I couldn't believe it. No, but this team is not consistent. This team is consistently bad. And to just like, and to act like it's all good, it doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
You won another game. I agree with Logan. Just act like it and move on to the next, because right now it hasn't been pretty. This is
if they're celebrating for Justin Fields, hey, I can get behind that. If they're happy about that and happy for the quarterback, beautiful.
Yeah. This is the game ball proposal.
Paper plate award.
Like this, right? Talk about believe. Right? Believe in yourself. And we look to the right and look to the left and said, hey, let's believe in the guy next to us. Right? And you guys have been doing that the whole time. All right? What a great way to finish with complimentary football at the end of that game, fellas. Right? It's always going to be hard in the NFL. Right? But this time you finished. We worked on it in practice. It paid off in the game. Right? So this time, the game ball is going to say finish on there with the score, and everybody gets the game ball. Excellent finish, fellas. That's how it feels. That's how it looks right there, okay? Look at the tape. Let's keep getting better from this performance, right? And then move on to the next week, okay? Hey.
Right.
Actually, damn, I wish I would have. I thought it was going to stop right there. There's Justin comes up. Justin comes up and and he owns those 2 fumbles that he had. He owns it. He thanks them for having his back. the players, everything. And the players, it was a pretty loud ovation for a guy like Justin Fields. And if you saw in the celebration, the hugs and the embraces, like, you got the president down there, you got your GM, like there's some, I think you could look into it a little bit, but not a whole hell of a lot. That there's a relationship with Justin Fields and Kevin Warren. That that obviously they're going to stick up for their guys no matter what. Like, look at how they keep everything close to the vest. You know what I mean? It's very, need to know with them, and they keep I get they're protecting some of their guys, and I don't mind that in a sense, but there's a time where you could be truthful too. There's a time where you can express, a little more than just smoke and mirrors to us, but we'll see what happens. I don't think it'll ever come to that, but we'll see what happens with Flus.
And to that point, there is a little, I feel like there's some poker playing as your management. You're never tipping your cap. You're trying to, or tipping your cards. You're definitely, like you said, keeping them close to your chest. Hey, I think Warren and Poles, in my mind, I think they know Eberflus is gone. You got to sit there and nod your head. You're at the game. What are you going to sit there stoic and look uninterested? Because that's going to be recorded and be all over, the social media. Look at these guys. So they played their part. And so to that point, I just, I want him gone. I thought Getsy was hopefully going to be fired this morning, to be perfectly honest with you. I did not get my wish, but I digress, and here we are. 4-8, looking at possibly 2 top 5 picks moving forward, but hey, still got some football to go. 5 games for Justin. I'm hoping he builds on some momentum. That's still a big win for him. You get hey, wins aren't a QB stat apparently, but it was nice to see him come from, kind of rebound after those 2 fumbles and do a little something with that. So I was happy for him in that respect. So, hey, that's something to celebrate for the Bears, because they love that guy. And if you're going to show that video after Eberflus spoke, they definitely love their quarterback.
Yeah, I'll actually bring it back up. They
if
do.
Want.
Yeah. I definitely wanted to, because I fucked up and it dropped out. I exited out. So, hey, but yeah, it was something to see. He obviously has, or his teammates obviously have his back. It wasn't something like if they would have said nothing, or if it would have been like kind of a dead silence, then I'd be worried. But it wasn't that at all. And to be honest, I think they want Justin there for the long run. Actually, let me get
they want to be right. I mean, they want to be right
do.
with their decision. They don't want him to flop. They would like to get behind this, and I think it's a nice thing for Justin to say he won. Yeah, fourth quarter, 2 big fumbles, but you know what? When it came down to it, granted, I think if Flores had an opportunity, he would love to get that call back with leaving DJ Moore open on that route. But it's just, I think he would have called something differently. But nonetheless, hey, that's football, baby. You can't win if you don't play. Bears won 12-10. And
yeah, I just don't, I agree with Daryl, like Daryl over there. He doesn't want to see this coaching staff with a new quarterback, or he doesn't think you should keep this coaching staff if you're going to get another quarterback. I don't think you should keep this coaching staff if you're going to keep the quarterback you have. And I know that's going to sound crazy because it's like, Justin with a new regime, new offense again.
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds irresponsible, right? It sounds irresponsible, but I really believe that if Justin was able to have a offensive-minded head coach, right, who was able to just have him for a season or 2 prior to him starting, I think then Justin would have been, the best we could have seen. He would have been more polished as a quarterback, but we didn't get to see that because we had to force him into the fold. We had to force him in there because the Bears were so bad. They needed something to bring people to the stands. They needed to put asses in seats. And Justin Fields, being the top pick, is that, especially at the position he plays in quarterback. Look, we're just a quarterback-starved city, quarterback-starved fan base. And here we go. I found it right here. And we need people to make the right decisions. But I also am afraid if we go ahead and we overthink it and we jump the gun on this guy, and it's not Justin Fields, and he goes ahead and he becomes something in Atlanta or in wherever the hell they who would trade for him or pick him up, I don't think we're going to find the correct. I don't think we would be a quarterback away at that point. I think we would have to go ahead and completely tear it down, because it's still questions on the coaching, questions on the quarterback, but the coaches are supposed to develop the quarterbacks. You see what I'm saying? So if there's no development on that side with Justin, with some of his flaws, with the coaching staff's flaws, I think it falls more to the coaches, because you're the ones that are supposed to have him mentally prepared to execute on Sundays, and it just doesn't happen for him. Here's the clip I was talking about. Who is it not playing? Here we go.
Just want to say appreciate y'all for sticking on my side, believing in me, bro. Appreciate you. You feel me? Love all y'all boys.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And I think like Dan said, they were hyped. They won a game. They definitely were excited to win in the NFL. It's hard. I mean, I can't disagree with Eberflus. I've never done it. I know you haven't. But at the same time, I imagine battling out there for 60 minutes and beating the shit out of yourself. It's to win any game, whether you're 1-16 or 16-1. You're happy. But how you act still can be, ultimately questioned to some extent. That's what we do here. But at the same time, I think, I feel that Justin is going to be the quarterback of this team as we move forward, and they're going to build around him. I think that narrative is going to continue to build and gain some steam as we move towards the draft. But I don't know if that's a good play, because you may want to continue to sell that you're not sure to make that pick even more valuable if you end up at the one or two spot with that Carolina pick. Because we're trying to play some poker here as well. So we'll see. Poles has got a lot of work ahead of him.
Yeah, Dan, I agree you can't draft scared, but I'm drafting scared because my coaching staff doesn't show me anything that proves that they can develop a quarterback. It's like even with Tyson Bagent, even Tyson Bagent was missing some things, and there was still some issues there. You know what I'm saying? So I get you're gonna have to the hammer's gonna have to fall, and it's coming quickly. I'm curious, and I still don't know. I still don't know, because is it Justin? Is it the coaching staff? Does Caleb Williams come in here or Drake May and just fucking light it up with Luke Getsy? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. The screen game that the game that he called this past week, the amount of screens, the amount of non-vertical passes that he called, it's that those aren't on Justin. Like, you needed to attack downfield, and if we can't see him continuously attack downfield, then I'm just going to call it incomplete.
Yeah, that was great if you were watching the game and weren't listening to you or the boys over at halftime on the patron side. It seemed like Getsy thought the end zones were the sidelines, and on social media there were some great comments, dude, where people were just killing Getsy. And it was a good laugh. It's like we're watching this, and I was talking to Phil today at work, and one of the things I just said, with respects to the screens, obviously you're trying to beat the rush. Sometimes they were rushing 3, 4, and they were just blowing by, scheme wise, because you're doing those screens, right? But nonetheless, how else do you beat a screen or the rush? Why not some slants? Why not some other type of routes that are, timing based, anticipatory type of throws? If you think Justin is going to be that guy, or you need to see it, why not let him make those throws? How are you not throwing the ball downfield a couple of times? I mean, I just kind of always go back to that. I'm kind of going off my point. It gets you going sideline to sideline, but it was just mind boggling to me, man. I don't understand it. And Phil was just shedding some light on it today in the office. It was, I do have that luxury every once in a while, catching his ear when he's not cutting film or doing something at work. But, it was, yeah. And if you heard him talk about it last night after the game, he was saying the same exact thing, so it was just kind of echoing his sentiment last night and today. Right. But God damn it, man. It was frustrating to see. How many total screens were there? I
actually don't know that the total. I'm sure, like I said, DJ Moore had 6 alone. So we'll have to go ahead and check on that if you can.
I could look it up.
Mr.
You know,
Hebrew, Mr. Hebrew, I agree. Fire the coaching staff. I wanted Jim Caldwell.
Hey.
I liked Jim Caldwell when he was interviewing the first time. When Ryan Poles chose Matt Eberflus. I liked the idea of having a guy like Jim Caldwell in there. I know he was a Polian and McCaskey guy. I think that those two really liked the idea of him being the head coach. I did too, to be honest with you, even though it was them picking it, for the simple fact that you have a quarterback and you're supposed to be, an offensive team. You're trending or trying to trend into being an offensive team.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think at this point with Justin Fields, I want him to succeed. I want him to be the quarterback of the Bears. But if he continues to put the ball on the ground, if you continue to miss guys down the field, no matter what I think or how I think you can actually progress with somebody better, maybe you're just going to have to go ahead and find somebody better. Maybe you're going to have to go get some fresh eyes, a fresh new perspective on another team to really break out of this. I mean, it's not all Getsy's fault. It's not all Justin's fault, but it's just this relationship doesn't seem to work. This relationship, if and Dan's right, he doesn't trust Justin against a blitz heavy team. Well, there's more.
Let him fail. We need to see this. We're fucking 3-8 going into the game. Let him throw a couple of picks then. Jesus Christ. I'm with you.
Right, but you can't have that. You can't have that lack of trust between your offensive coordinator and your quarterback, even if they say, to the blue in the face that we have a great relationship. I mean, you can have a great working relationship and still produce a shit product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you guys could be
fucking awful.
You guys could be best friends and still be producing garbage every Sunday. So for me,
I agree with Dan on that.
Yeah, for me, I think
you're afraid of that rush and didn't know how to handle it.
I think that Mr. Hebrew and Dan and Daryl and a bunch of other you got to clean house and start anew. And I really want it to be Jim Harbaugh. He looks like this will be his last go with Michigan.
He might be getting suspended all next year. I mean, they don't know.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens with Jim. But he's my pick. I was just listening to Bleck and Abdallah on ESPN 1000, right? And
God bless you.
And Bleck went ahead and tweeted out, and they were actually talking about it on the radio show. But he tweeted out about how everywhere Jim Harbaugh has went, he's brought this culture, this attitude of winning to them. Stanford, the Niners, when they were garbage, he came in and took that team. Michigan now
beating up on Ohio State.
Exactly. So for me, I want that. I talked about it I talked about it when the Bears lost to the Lions. I want my coach. We made people made fun of Dan Campbell with the biting of the kneecap thing, and they still do, which is it's a funny ass. It's funny.
People made fun of Nick Sirianni on his first press conference.
Right, but the point is that this is a guy that's going to demand a certain style, a certain
standard expectations versus standards.
Exactly. So I don't want. I want that. I want accountability right up front, and you'll get that. You'll get that from Jim Harbaugh.
Look what he did for Kaepernick. I mean, seriously, he turned him around. Went from he got the most out of his talents, and that's called coaching to your player's strengths. That's something I feel a lot of Bears fans. If you are a Bears fan, you've been saying that since Mitch, right? It's like, why aren't we? It's something. That's why he failed. We never worked to his strengths. Well, Mitch just has been bad, even since he left Chicago. But, with respects to Justin, there's some signs where let's get him under center and move him outside and let's fucking go. It's unbelievable, dude. It's mind numbing, but I love Campbell. I love Nick Sirianni. I think they're great head coaches, two different styles, but still kind of like goofballs on the mic. Some guys just are corny as shit. Eberflus is just a fucking liar and is just coach soup, just kind of blah, blah, that verbal diarrhea that, and then when he gets one right, he wants to remind everybody of that. But the 99 other ones he got wrong, he's more or less just like, hey man, other people got to do their jobs, but hey,
right. Yeah.
I don't know, man. But yeah, what would you do if we kept Eberflus, got rid of Getsy, and they brought in a new defensive coordinator and a new offensive coordinator? How would you handle that situation? Or what would you think about that?
If that were the case, first of all, I'd be very disappointed.
Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed because it's just, it's still kicking the can just down the road. She'll just pass
Another
the
year,
buck.
you think?
Yeah,
You think?
another year of this decision making.
Well, like Greg Roman as an OC, somebody that that molded that offense initially for Lamar Jackson, or somebody. I don't want to start just naming names, but if there's someone you like as an OC, throw it in the chat. There's plenty of you listening now. If there's somebody that you'd like to bring in, let us know. Ivan, is there somebody that you fancy as an OC that, if we kept Eber, because the defense is clicking. I'm not, we're not like Edmonds. I mean, you heard the announcers use his name in a positive light last night, which is super rare. And he still he just tackles fucking weird. I don't know if his arms are too long. It's just strange. Like, he looks all awkward when he's trying to make tackles. But I don't know if Ryan Day was to get fired from Ohio State, which is very possible, as an OC. I don't know. That's pretty creative, Isaiah. I'm not hating.
As an OC, then
interesting choice.
It would be something that I would consider.
Oh, wow.
I would consider, especially if they keep Eberflus. If they keep Eberflus, I would say, okay, you could go ahead and bring in a college guy like a Ryan Day to be the OC and to be the OC that knows Justin, that understands his strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. Maybe he could get something, out of, maybe get the best out of him. Then DC wise, I don't think you need a DC. I think you just need Eberflus, to be honest with you. Like, the defense is playing really good. The defense is playing really good. And ever since he took over, they've been generating the turnovers that they weren't generating. They've been playing a lot more physical. He gets himself a pass rusher in Montez Sweat. Now you could see the line working a lot better, generating pressure, which in turn helps generate turnovers in the back end. I could get down with that. It's just, to me, Eberflus, and in 2 years, the decisions that he's made on the field as a head coach, the way that he is at the mic, he just seems like a really good guy. He seems like a solid defensive coordinator, but he just doesn't seem to me to have what it takes to get this team over the top, especially when it comes to personnel decision making and decision making as far as situational situations are concerned. Why is Montez Sweat? Yeah. Why is Montez Sweat still only on 71% of the snaps on defense? I think I get that you like this rotation to keep them fresh, but I think at the end of the games, right? At the end of the games, or how about this? When the opponent has the football at the end of a quarter, or at the end of the halves or such, Montez is out there, period. Because those are the most critical situations. Like, for instance, they went out down and scored a field goal at the half. Now I got to go back and see if Montez was there. Actually, it's probably going to show me here in just a second. I got the thing playing, had it playing all day. But those are the most critical situations that I think Montez needs to be out there. When it's late in the quarter, late in the half, late in the game, and the opponent has the ball, I don't care if he has his rest right now. Put Montez out there. He's getting paid to go ahead and be a playmaker on defense. He can't make plays on the sideline standing next to you, coach. So
some would say 80% of Montez Sweat is better than 99% of some of the guys we have on the roster, which means keep him out there, but at the same time, you invested a lot. In a 4-8 season, do we want to break him down now and have to hopefully get him back? Hope he get, some sort of knee injury or something. I don't know. I agree with you, but then you kind of get into this weird headspace because of how shitty the team has been. What do you want to maybe try to do that to salvage
that goes
the longevity of some of these guys, but that's how you get hurt, right? When you coach that way.
That goes to what Dan has said, though, and coaching scared. Excuse me. Like, I don't want
Unless you're trying to
don't
tank,
need
like
you.
Logan's
I don't
saying here,
need
you
you
know?
to save. I don't need you to save Montez Sweat when you're 4-8. Like, what are you saving him for? The season's over in a few weeks, big guy. Like, what is he going to be saved for? The couch? For Honolulu? For Cancun? Like, what is he going to be saved for? You know what I'm saying? Like, go out there, try to win some football games, try to save your fucking ass, and let's see, what we're doing after the season. Those are the things. Why is your GM having to tell the head coach, hey man, maybe you should put our playmakers out there a little bit more?
I can't believe they let that get out.
That?
The fact that came out is just kind of like shit. I mean, I coach fucking 10-year-old travel soccer, and I understand that, if you kind of need to have your good players out there if you're trying to get a little something accomplished when you're, in something that matters. You are starting to develop at that age, but I'm just saying, like, come on, man.
Right. And then the everybody gets a game ball thing, like,
yeah. Paper plate award, man.
All right.
All
right. I mean, that's cool, I guess. I mean, it's cool if I was, in grammar school and in Park League, football or, Pop
my
Warner,
kid hates getting a second place trophy, so I hope we're doing something right in our house. I do appreciate that. Like, come on, the fuck.
It's like that stuff is just kind of, it's gimmicky, it's comical to me.
Yeah.
I get they're pumped, right? I get they're pumped for a win.
Right.
But the way that they're celebrating, it's just like, man, dude, like you guys know there's a lot of work to be done still, right? Like,
right.
It's just is what it is, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay, that's gonna fucking have to stop because that's gonna
right.
Anyway, it's what we've been given, man. It's what we've been given, dude. Like, I'm expecting the Detroit Lions to be ready to go. I don't know is Jacko frozen or am I frozen? What's going on here? All right. Okay, I think it's Jackal, but I think the Detroit Lions will be prepared. I think the Lions will be ready to go, and I think the Bears will be a little bit slow out of the gates come next game after the bye. Well, I think he did freeze for a second. So Jackal should be back here shortly. I want to go ahead and just jump into these interviews. Let's just go ahead and do it before Jackal before he goes ahead and disappears on me. Or is he back? Nope, he's not. We got to wait. Let's go ahead and just jump into these interviews. He'll be back.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So just in there with the players, obviously very excited about the victory. The way we finished, the last part of it was good complementary football, 3 and out by the defense, and then taking it down there, the 2-minute drive to set us into field goal range, and then, kneeling, and then making them use their timeouts and then kicking it for the winner. And we utilize that defense. We've used it a bunch of different times, that last play defense that you have where you're back all the way like that. And the guys did a good job executing that as well. So starting off the game, I thought we started off strong, in terms of drives, moving the ball down the field. Just didn't capitalize. You obviously missed that long field goal there, but I think it was 9 minutes. And Justin started 8 for 8, I believe, which is really good. And then obviously the
5
takeaways
yards
by the defense.
Hold on. Who said this, Paul? I don't think anybody here was expecting them to make the playoff. Maybe you jumped in at the wrong time, but yeah, I don't think anybody here was expecting them to turn it around and make the playoffs this season.
We had a punt on the first series, and then we intercepted the next 2, and that's good focus and concentration by those guys. And we've been working really hard during the course of the week of taking the ball away, and that's starting to pay off for us. So I thought the first half, ended well there. I thought too many penalties put us behind the stick sometimes with some opportunities. During that time, obviously the Kyler Gordon, penalty that we had at midfield and backing us up. And then we ended up not stalling out on some penalties on offense on that one. So that was probably the most disappointing thing in the first half. But the second half came out. I thought the defense came out ready to play. Was a 3 and out. We had a couple interceptions right after that. And then, the touchdown by them was, it's good execution by them. We got to do a little bit better job on a couple instances there in our execution on defense. But overall, I thought the defense played stout all day, and it was good. Most proud of the guys, the way they finished, the way we worked on finishing, as a result from last week. I think it was really good for the guys to see that and going into the bye week. And going into the bye week pretty healthy, which is good. We'll get the guys, they'll be off the whole week, and then we'll bring them back in the following Monday. And we'll do a light walkthrough there and get them checked up and checked in and all that. So with that, open up to questions.
Except they are better than last year. They won 4 games. It's I'm not expecting them to have a playoff turnaround, but I was expecting 6 games, win 3 more. That's
I would
a
have been
jump.
shocked by 8 if you were to, if we talked about it at the beginning of the season, looking at the schedule.
Right. Right. Again, nobody, like I said, Paul, nobody here expected that. And whoever did, I agree with you. That's probably a dumb thought. Like you probably overbiting or, overthinking it. But to me, they weren't making the playoffs.
We're just on we're on the slow play. We're not on the 4-year plan. We're like I see in the chat, Joe was saying, we're not the 4-year plan. We're the 40s-year plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, you need that, in that moment, you need it. We only really needed 15, 18 yards to make it nice, in terms of our kick line there. But, obviously when you get that big chunk there, it kind of seals the deal there. And, DJ runs a beautiful in cut. He's a great route runner, and, the way he played today, the way he took a lot of those short passes, and, take them for 8-9 yards at a time. And those aren't easy. And he's a heck of an athlete and a better teammate.
Matt, what went into the decision to go for it on 4th and 10 at the Minneapolis? So
Yep.
And then not go for it on 4th and 3 at their 7?
Yeah, it's where you are in the game, right?
See, he said this shit last week.
Right.
It's where you are in the game, right? What do you mean it's where you are in the game, Coach? Where are you at in the season? Where are you at in your coaching career, bro? Like, you need to go 4th and 3. You had the balls to go for it on 4th and 10. And then you drive down and it's 4th and 3. Where are your nuts? Where did they go? Why aren't you able to have that same attitude, that same mentality at 4th and 3 in the red zone as opposed to 4th and 10 at the 50?
Yeah.
I don't get it. It adds to more confusion with this team.
So, at the 4th and 10 from the 38, we were outside our kick line there. So, you're just ultra aggressive there because you feel good how your defense is playing. If you don't get it, where the ball sits for them. So we felt good there. And then obviously down there, that's points. And you want to capitalize on points. And as the game went on, obviously the points were at a premium there. You knew it was going to be a low score. And, field goal meant something, in this game.
That was the beginning of the game, Coach. You know what I mean? Like, it's the beginning of the game. Yeah, it meant something because your offense wasn't able to do shit the rest of the game. Yeah. But what if you score a touchdown there? Now you have even more comfortable of a lead with all the field goals that you're going to kick later on. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Overall, I know it ended well, but to get 4 takeaways and 12 points, open to the red zone.
Yeah, obviously we would like to capitalize on those, right? And that's what momentum is. When you get those takeaways on defense, momentum is created there. And the momentum is either finished there by the defense returning it, into a scoring zone or scoring themselves, or the offense getting that takeaway and then moving it into a scoring zone.
Exactly, Tools.
And we have to do a better job of that.
Exactly.
We have to capitalize on those, and that's going to be a big part of our success going forward. It's good, and I've been part of some good ones, 30 plus a few times, and it's defense creates momentum in a lot of different ways, and they do it through third down stops, they do it through big hits, and they do it through taking the ball away. And that's what we always preach to the guys, and they did all 3 things today.
What was the math on the final after the throw to DJ? What was kind of the conversations upstairs?
Yeah, you're right, Paul.
About the math and the kneel instead of running the left one?
Yeah, first you talk about what hash, That's the big part of it. And then, they had 2, so they're going to burn the 2, and then you figure out what the time is after that. And, you do your kneeling, rather than run the ball, you want to kneel it because it's a safer play. No reason to.
He looks like
And then,
he ages every week.
We knew they
man.
have 10 seconds after the kick.
Dude,
So it was the way we finished.
Oh, son of a bitch. I definitely
Sorry.
skip. Yeah. Well,
It's all right.
It's all right. We'll stick. But I was gonna say no. To your point. My wife had pointed out he looks like he aged like 10, 20 years since he took the job. Like he went through a
He's
presidency.
A president. Yeah,
like
exactly.
he went through a presidency, and his age, God knows how many years. But I apologize. I went and skipped back to the front of the
skip to the back to the front.
Yeah,
front to the back.
You know what I mean. I skipped to the front of the interview, to the beginning of the interview. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up wherever it lies.
Can I just ask you a quick question? Can we interject? Because Paul, you made it. Paul over here, Mr. Hester, you had made a comment about getting an AFC team in the. I was trying to figure out what you were getting at. Trubisky was better in his 4th year, by your rationale. So by the 4th year, we should have been contenders. I'm just saying, it's hard. And to win in the NFL is hard. Some teams can turn it around a lot quicker than 4 years. It happens. Some teams have gone, it's a 2-year rebuild or whatnot. But I'm confused, man. Nagy collecting Super Bowl rings. You're on it tonight, buddy.
Yeah, first you talk about what hash. That's the big part of it. And then, they had 2, so they're going to burn the 2, and then you figure out what the time is after that. And, you do your kneeling, rather than run the ball.
Oh, actually,
you want to kneel
good,
it,
right?
Because it's a safer play. No reason to. And then we knew they have 10 seconds after the kick. So it was a good operation.
What did Roshan do to play his way into a bigger role?
Just his practice, what he's been doing in practice. And he's, obviously having Foreman out certainly played a big part of that. But again, he put his best foot forward. And that's always an opportunity that guy has when a guy goes down and another guy steps up.
Yeah, Roshan definitely looked good. He actually picked up 2 guys on the block.
Yeah.
44, and I think the other guy was Harrison Smith. Picked him up on a block in the backfield. I mean, it was amazing. The guy can play some football. There's still some things he missed. He whiffed on another one that led to I think it led to a fumble or a sack. But, obviously a rookie still needs to clean some things up. But I like what I see from a guy like Roshan Johnson.
And I thought he did a nice job. I thought he did a really good job of, working into open space. And Justin needs to be commended for that because he's worked on that a lot. Getting his eyes down the field. And you certainly saw that early in the game, with Roshan, seeing that and then making some big chunk yards there. And I think that's a really good way to do it because when you got a quarterback that can run like that, then you can, obviously you can dent the defense pretty good there on those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got all those guys up, and they're all a threat to come, right? So you have to be, mindful of that, and you have to have ways to get the ball in the perimeter or into the second level.
We both
of the field.
Clipping that,
and we didn't hit some of those today, but we're certainly looking to get more of those. Yeah, I really didn't get a full explanation on that. I mean, I'm curious to see what they do say about that. But clearly his face mask was off, and that all we pleaded our case, it just didn't work out.
How does it feel to get this first divisional win? I mean, it probably took a little longer than you would anticipate, but just to win in the division for the first time.
Yeah, I think it's very important. Obviously, our goal is to win the division, but more importantly, I believe it's the way we finished. I think that's going to be more lasting. Going into these next ball games, and like I said, the proof's right there.
12 points.
I wanna. They finished okay, but the way they finished, right?
How are you finishing this?
It was pretty rough. It was pretty fucking rough. I mean, like I said, putting the ball on the deck, playing a little bit soft on that last drive for the Vikings, the touchdown to Hawkinson, that touchdown drive for the Vikings. things like that, kind of, they still concern me, man. They still concern me about finishing the game. You got the win. You were able to go downfield. I like how, like I said, Justin had a great series, that last series, to go ahead and bring Cairo Santos into field goal range. But like I said before, man, you need to finish better. It needs to be better, because for me, that game should have been won by the Vikings at the end. And I'd rather be lucky than good. I'll take it. Like I said, we were able to see Justin do some really good stuff at that last drive, so I'm going to take that. But, God, you got to clean this up.
We've been doing a lot of good things on offense, defense, and kicking, and it's good to win a tight one like this. Where we had some adversity at the end, I had to pull through that adversity with those 2 fumbles and come together with the last defensive series and the last offensive 2-minute drive. Yeah, I mean, what they're going to do, right? It was run, right? And then they threw the ball out to the perimeter, and TJ made a great play. I mean, that was just an outstanding play by him. He's played well all year, but, man, he played good tonight too. He makes a lot of impactful plays. That one stop on the 4th down stop, I believe it was, or 3rd down stop, on their sideline, that was a really good play too. So he just continues to play his tail off.
God, fix these mics, man? What's going on?
That was great.
Week after
week.
That
was really good. That was really good. And the execution, the blocking. I think Justin operated there. We got the look we needed, we wanted there, and Cole did an awesome job of working himself open into the space. Yeah, no doubt. It was then it was 3rd and 21. Then it was 4th and 10. So there was, but good job by the offense on that one.
Sounds like they're using the same speakers with these microphones. Must have been a set.
Right.
I didn't have a thought on it.
Bought it out of a van.
Yeah, I didn't see the second fumble. I know that he had 2 hands on the one. I think it was just a good play by the defensive end. He was trying to evade and get into the open space, and he had 2 hands on that one. I didn't see the second one, but it means a lot, for him to be able to come back from that, and then seal the deal with that great in cut that he threw to DJ. And even prior to that, there was
hands
a lot
down
of
to
good
a little
things,
behind.
a lot of good, no sacks, in that moment, being able to throw the ball away, evade the rush, when guys were not open. And again, we'll look at the tape and see how we can get better, as we will, all of us. We can get better from this performance. When we're going to lose, we can always get better, and we want to do that with this one.
Yeah, this defense had some rocky games early in the season. What's allowed you guys to have the kind of growth for the defense is making the plays to win these games?
Yeah, it's just coming together. I think we had some injuries early on. That's not acceptable to make an excuse, but we had injuries. And, so we didn't have the continuity we wanted during training camp because of those injuries. And I think, after the 3rd, the 4th game, I think we got healthy, and the guys started playing together. It had some continuity there, and you can feel it. As the momentum keeps growing and growing with those guys.
Bullshit. You got embarrassed for 4 straight weeks. You got embarrassed for a month, right? And I get continuity and being together and working together well. And training camp is important. But coach, you had them in training camp. You had the players that were the backups in training camp too. So they weren't ready to go. And it's not like you were missing, everybody on the football team. Your main attractions, your starters, most of your starters were there. Maybe you had a guy out here or there, but most of the team was intact in that first month, coach. You got embarrassed for straight.
Yeah.
And then a little bit more after that until you finally won a game. So to me, it's bullshit. Like, don't tell me that it was, it's only been
He's
this.
a piss on your head and call it rain type of guy.
And now
dude.
we're coming together, and now it's all being put together now. It's like, no, it doesn't. I don't see that. I know the fans don't see that. He has to keep a positive outlook for whatever reason. But it's getting to the point where I can't stand him. It's like, dude, no, that's not the truth. Like, you're going to make an excuse that we were injured and we were out, all these. No, you're coaching was bad. Your decision making on offense and on defense was bad. Now, the defensive bad was not really his fault because he had Alan Williams calling the plays, but it was still Alan Williams was a decision that you made, so it was still it's not good. Like
No,
I don't like when he's making this excuse that he's making. It's on you, coach. You guys
100%.
You guys had a piss poor start because you didn't have them ready to go.
Exactly.
And they certainly are exciting to watch.
They tried to go at Terrell on the first snap of the game. Bojack got back there, got his hands on the ball. How you think Terrell performed?
Good. Yeah, he made good tackles. I thought he was strong.
Right.
Of course they're going to go at him. He's a rookie and he's a new starter in there. So they certainly did that. And Bojack did a good job of playing over the top on that one. We pressured on that one.
Oh,
on the first
veiled
play.
threat shot right
Bojack
there.
did a good job of seeing that and playing over the top.
Didn't do that against Detroit. Did it against.
You don't on our offense, you're saying? Yeah,
The
it's
Bears
the
just beat
pressure,
bad teams.
The looks that they give you and the pressure that they give you, 6 men up, 7 men up.
That's what
they're all
bad teams
threatening,
do.
right there. And you can decide to do a couple different
Best
things.
of
You can
bad
spit the
teams.
ball to the perimeter, or you can max it up and and have a 2-man route. And try to.
I don't
see if you can
disagree
get
with
it done
no
that way. So
preseason.
there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. When you get the ball to DJ on the perimeter, he makes some things happen. I think it's always a good thing. But we'll look at it. We'll see how we can improve for next time, and we'll see what we can do. All right.
Bears got to win out, go 9-8, and make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's pretty much not going to happen. You know what? The win, I'll take the style points. Yeah, if you want to call them style points, it's execution. That's
We scored
really
12
is.
points.
It's the execution that looks shitty out there. And sometimes when even when
You
it's
can run a screen.
Yeah, even when it is executed, even when plays are completed and run correctly, it looks rough, man. It doesn't look smooth. Like everybody's understanding assignments, what they're where the play is gonna go, how to, it just all seems like a clusterfuck.
It seems what we've been used to over years. It's just a different set of faces on the mics, and it's, pretty soon they become these gray, nameless faces, and we're just like, all right, this is what we are. But in Kevin Warren, he's the one variable that is new in this equation. I look forward to seeing him getting a full off season after taking this year in and really kind of putting a stamp on this franchise. I get he's working out all the logistics or whatever for a new stadium. Wonderful. Yeah. But I think, with respects to the football part of this franchise, he wants to be more involved. And I think that's good for us, in my opinion, because it's something different. And, I think that's going to keep Ryan Poles in check. And I think it does help us with respects to some of the changes that we're going to see come this offseason. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think Kevin Warren would be the guy that would make
damn it, Logan.
He would make the decision on the head coach, right? Like I don't know what the relationship is with Warren and Flus. Obviously we know the relationships with Flus and Poles. If I'm Kevin Warren, after seeing the season, you're taking notes, you're at the games, you're watching how the operation is being run. I don't see how you could be satisfied with what's been going on.
Whoa.
Where'd the thing go? Oh, there it is. There we go. You're over here messing with stuff, Jacko? I don't think you'd be satisfied with where they're at. Yeah. Here's Justin Fields, or if you want to call him a quarterback named Slickback. If any
what's with the purple though?
It's just a style. He's just rocking it.
Trying to settle. Hey, I'm going to Minnesota when you guys get rid of me, and I'm going to fuck you guys over.
It's just hilarious. Like I just find it funny. I was like, a quarterback named Slickback. Here we go. Justin Fields.
Justin, what does it mean for you to overcome the 2 fumbles and then lead your team on the game-winning drive?
Yeah, first off, can't fumble. Need better ball security on that. And it's crazy because, Roshan, I think he fumbled a play or two before I fumbled on the first one. So I'm like,
We didn't ask about Roshan, Justin.
Yeah, but I like what he says.
Right now, then 2 plays later,
I know.
fumble. Then the second one was like.
But we didn't ask about
exactly,
Roshan,
but,
Justin.
The guys never wavered. So the guys in the locker room appreciate them for, sticking beside me and, believing in me. And, defense did a great job by getting us the ball back for that last drive. And offense did a great job executing those.
I'm not going to lie. That last drive, I was yelling at the top of my lungs because some of the execution, like you see it, man. You see the brilliance, right?
Yeah.
Scrambling to his left. There's nothing there. He can't get to the edge. Slows down, slings it across his body, back across the green. A dart to Roshan Johnson. A dart to DJ Moore. Breaks 5-6 tackles. Outruns 2 DNs that are in the backfield. There's just a talent there that, for whatever reason, these coaches and him have not reached the full potential. It just seems like there's gaps in his play that I hope they can be corrected. Like I said, I hope they can be corrected. But when you see some of the things like that, like especially in that last drive, man, that's the guy we want. That dude right there, that Justin Fields, the good Justin Fields, like good and bad Jekyll and Hyde Justin Fields, that's the guy we want because he's electric. He could get out of the pocket. He could create, and his arm is a cannon, right? He was making smart decisions. He scared me a couple times when he was trying to extend a play. He didn't throw the ball away quick enough, but he did. He ended up eventually throwing it away and saving himself from the sack. Again, it's going to be a tough decision. He is not without fault, but
one more lineman.
We'll see.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Next year it could be
great and
a thing of beauty for him.
So good
I hope so.
Fighting
and us as fans.
Ups and downs of the game. Guys never got too high or too low, and
and he got his bell rung on that fucking hit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the play we run all the time in practice. We've been running that play since I can remember. But I saw the deep defenders get a bunch of depth with I think it was Tyler or Mooney or somebody, but deep through in the deep corner, and then really the only player that was in the middle right there was 44 Metellus, and he had no idea where DJ was. Of course, O-line did a great job protecting. Great play call by Luke, and like I said before, that's just a play that goes back all the way to training camp. Guys executed at a perfect level. We've hit it in practice multiple times on our defense in a 2-minute situation. So, just going back to those banked reps and, everybody executing when we needed to.
Real quick, I'm going to step away because I have a child situation. I got to go handle something real quick. I'll be back. Jackal, go ahead and
we'll play it.
Yeah,
let's go.
Keep it going.
Wonderful.
I'm just locked in. I'm not. There's no feeling. It's just, just straight tunnel vision locked into that. So, yeah. Relief. We came in at halftime. We were up. Defense was playing a great game. Offense kind of got to a slower start that we wanted to, but nothing that mattered in the first half mattered to us. Starting in the second half. So that was, our message was just finish. Because there's been too many times this season where we've been up. We didn't do a good job of finishing. So, again, just going back, proud of everyone for fighting through the end. No matter what had happened, and finishing the game out, and ultimately got the dub. So, yeah.
So excited to talk about winning. I mean, much different temperament on the mic than he was with respects to in the clubhouse or in the locker room with the fellas, man. It's just interesting to see. Stoic, either he's just tired, but honestly, that hit he took, I felt like he was a little dazed and confused afterwards. Not saying he was concussed, but I was really shocked that didn't. It just speaks to his toughness. He's a tough kid. I'm kind of getting lost in the weeds here, but just the way he finished that, stoic and just, hey, we got the win. And hey, I appreciate that part of it because he's like, all right, now we're on to the bye week and we're moving. We got a game in 13 days, so here we go. Go ahead.
Can a win like this, like the way you finished, is that something you think you carry the final 5 games this season?
Of course. I mean, as a team, you know, we haven't let, you know, our record define who we are. We know who we are as a team. You know, we know what we're capable of, and it's really just going out there and doing it, going out there, executing and finishing the way we know how, the way we did tonight, and really just cleaning up the mistakes because, you know, if you clean up my 2 fumbles, we're probably not even in that situation. So, you know, just, again, you know, props to all the guys, coaches, teammates, and, you know, sticking their head down and finishing.
Well, like I said, you know, it's more than just the 2 fumbles. You know, like I said, I'm not a Justin hater.
No.
I'm not going to, you know, ignore his flaws as well because I just think that's just ignorant. Like, you know, it's not being real. But it was more than just the 2 fumbles, right? Like there's plays that you left out there that could have, you know, obviously padded the stats, made it look a little better, maybe 275, closer to 300 if you were to hit them. I know there was one that probably was going to go for like 20 plus yards to DJ Moore on a flag route to the sideline, and it just wasn't there. Like he was rolling out. Oh, it was Daniil Hunter had pressure. Well, he was driving up the field. I think he was just trying to maintain the edge and have contain on Justin, but he was being blocked by Cole Kmet, and Justin kind of still tried to force the issue to the sideline instead of like pulling up and trying to deliver a ball to DJ Moore. Like those things like that, go back to the film room, try to understand that that's something Justin could control.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's not a Luke Getsy thing. That's Justin understanding, okay, I see Cole there. I have a blocker, then Daniil Hunter right there. Daniil's trying to force the issue towards this up and towards the sideline so he could keep Justin contained. Justin, you just need to slow down. Slow yourself down and deliver it to DJ Moore. Like I said, you know, I'm not out there in helmet and shoulder pads. Obviously, I didn't see what he saw. Maybe he just saw a flash of Daniil Hunter and put his eyes went somewhere else.
Wow.
But for me, like
made an impact, yeah.
For me, you need to go ahead and that's something you need to work on. That's something that you could change that can help you become a better quarterback.
Agreed, man. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, a team like this is what you kind of got to do. They want to, you know, mug a bunch of guys up at the line of scrimmage and want to have 2 DBs out for 3 receivers. You know, you got to outflake them and do that sometimes to, you know, get them out of that stuff. So, you know, that was kind of the plan going into it. But, you know, I think the receivers did a great job on the outside perimeter blocking and, you know, letting those bubs turn into 8 to 12-yard gains. And, you know, those are big plays for us. So, you know, that was a big emphasis, you know, early in the week just to get the ball out and let those guys work on the outside and get the ball out quick because, you know, they'll either have everybody at the line of scrimmage, blitz everybody, or, you know, they'll drop out in the cover. So, you know, guys handled it well, and, you know, just that was
kind of how it works, Justin.
Give you a lot of credit for working with Roshan, especially working with him in space. What did you see from him early on that, like, you were trusting going in?
Yeah, I mean, he did a great job, protecting. You know, he's a great pass blocker. You know, he's a hard worker, but, you know, every time I'm throwing up for practice, he's there. So we kind of have that chemistry. I think there were, you know, play early in the game where it was broken down. He did a good job finding an open zone and, you know, getting the first down. I think that might have been a 3rd down, but, yeah, great job by him. And, you know, he's getting better each and every week. So I'm proud of the way he works. You know, his work ethic is unmatched. And you just see him working every day, grinding it out and, you know, just getting others around him better too. So it's just really awesome to see him growing and getting better each and every week. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think it's kind of what our whole team goes through. Is like we're going to have adversity throughout the game. We're going to have ups and downs, but, you know, the past is the past, and, you know, we can't dwell on that. We got to, you know, focus on the present moment and, you know, keep going. So, you know, he bounced back from the missed field goal. I was surprised that he missed it, to be honest, because he's been hot lately. But, I mean, he came back, hit the long field goal. And, of course, the game winner, that sealed the deal. So, you know, bounced back great. Didn't let that miss phase him, and just kept kicking. So. I mean, it just feels good to get a win. You know, anytime you can get a win in this league, it feels good. So, you know, it's hard to win. And, you know, I think as a team, it just feels good. No matter who we're playing, just feels good to win.
How do you all avoid the frustration of defense giving you the ball back, and not being able to catch it? How do you avoid that frustration?
just keep going. I mean, I think we had a few communication struggles early in the game with the O-line and stuff like that, but just keep chipping away. We knew our defense was, playing great. They've been playing great these past 2 weeks, and we knew the defense had our back. They just kept telling us, we got y'all's back, and just keep chipping away and putting points on the board. Like I said, I mean, if I don't fumble, we kick a field goal, make it 12-3. We're probably not even in that situation in the first place the way they're playing. So, yeah, I mean, defense played a hell of a game tonight, and definitely had our back for sure. Yeah, I mean, they brought it all out, and, Cole, I think he chipped the widest and, just had a check down. So they probably thought he was staying in and blocking and lost him. But, yeah, I mean, he did a great job. O-line did a great job giving me enough time with, being outnumbered by one. And I was able to just drift and get the ball out. Of course, Cole made a great catch and run, got the first down. So I think that was a big play in the game for sure.
Justin, in the two games since you got back, where are you in terms of the arc of where you want to be, and what do you want to do the rest of the season when you guys get back to the line personally?
I mean, I'm just taking it day by day.
There should be
I'm
closed captions on the bottom.
Where am I? I'm right here. I guess I don't really know how to answer that question, but yeah, I mean, I'm just taking it day by day.
Trying
to get better each and every day, learn from my mistakes, and really just be the best I can be for this team. So we're just gonna take one day at a time, one game at a time, and focus like that. So yeah, don't really have any interim goals, and we're just going to focus on the task that's next, and that's the Detroit after the bye week. So like I said, just taking it day by day, and just focusing on the day that we have. So
Like I said, I'm just going to riddle off some cliches until I'm done talking. But okay, I mean, all right,
Sounds
Justin,
like
you got to
a
have
beaten
some.
man.
You got to have some internal goals, Justin. Like there's got to be. You had it. You had it at the beginning of the year. 4,000 passing yards. You wanted to do this, and so you have to have some goals now that you're in this position you are. Like what are you trying to look for in these next couple of games out of your performance? Should just be straight up. Like, I mean, you were being honest before with the ball security. Just say ball security. I need to protect the ball more.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I really just wanted to, prove to my teammates that, that I had their back. The way the defense was playing all game, I had to come back and at least give us a chance at the end. So, I mean, it felt great. Just with those two fumbles, adversity's hitting after the second one. I was sick to my stomach, I'm not going to lie to y'all. But, yeah, defense 3 and out, got us the ball back. And at the end of the day, when you do have that opportunity at the end of the game, everything before that, like I said before, it's out the window. So you have that's all you have. I forgot what the score was, but all I know is that we needed a field goal.
We only had 9 points, bro.
Those two fumbles that I had, it was over with. So I had the present moment, and like I said, the guys did a great job executing at the end of the game when we needed to execute. So got better from last week, learned from last week, and finished the game how we wanted to finish it.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, the last one we got is Matt.
So excited about the division win.
Sorry, Matt Eberflus from this is from Monday, so we'll hearing more. First of all, check out the outfit. Check out the shirt. Looks like you're going to a disco.
Is that Charlie?
It's Charlie. Here we go, Matt Eberflus.
Yesterday, and great going into the bye week. The guys were certainly excited. You guys saw the video of that last night, and really this bye week's about rest and recovery for those guys.
Real quick though, he has got to get a bigger gold chain though. He's got to get a bigger gold chain just so he could.
Doesn't look like he's wearing one.
I know it's so. He's got a little thin rope. He got a thin rope. He got to upgrade, coach. Get yourself a bigger gold chain.
Got his wife's sweater
We've
on.
all met with the performance staff prior to leaving, and they have a plan for each guy to make sure that they're all squared away for that rest and recovery and come back at their maximum health they can have physically and mentally. So that's a big part of this bye week. It's a little different when it happens this late. I know we had the 2 mini buys, which was good to have.
Whoa,
those mini buys are good, but this bye week is certainly beneficial for us leading into these last games that we have. As regards to last night, Just want to credit again to the whole football team.
We know
for
Logan
the
has that
resolve
shirt.
we had. Being able to finish that
Jennifer
game the
Aniston.
right way, and certainly had some adversity at the end of the game. I credit Cairo, missing that first field goal and coming back, his resolve in that. Certainly for the offense, having the 2 fumbles at the end and being able to have the mental focus and the determination to take that 2-minute drive down there and get us in scoring position to win the game. And then the defense,
Sauce, just like him.
the way they played all night. And, they had a tough situation at the very end there to go, get them to 4th and 10 to force that punt at the very end. So that was really cool to watch those guys do that. And just the whole group coming together. And, from what happened to the week before,
It's
and
a
the way
bro,
we came
hands
together
down.
on Monday.
It's a bro.
And put our eyes forward to the next opponent, and to be able to do that, going into the bye week with a win, and win in that way, in that fashion, is a big step for our football team, a big step for us as the Chicago Bears. And so certainly excited about that. And the health of the team is good. We feel really good where most people are. And
What?
we'll see where that is. The guys will come back in on Monday. We'll check in on them, make sure they're all set, and we'll go from there. But again, we got Detroit coming up, and that'll be our main focus as we get going. Obviously, a good
I
opponent,
would hope so.
and we'll look forward to that.
Thanks,
I'm excited
Coach.
about that. But with that, open up to questions.
What's the prognosis on Stevenson?
Yeah, we'll see where it is with him. But he tweaked his foot on the turf. He made a really, really nice interception, in the red zone 7-on-7, and he tweaked it. But we're hopeful. We feel pretty good about where he is.
Expect him back this year?
This year? Oh, yeah. I hope so.
I know you talked last night about the
So-
passing game and kind of the
Well, I think you have to ask it like that, just so you know that, because they don't give you any. He doesn't give you any type of information when it comes to injuries. So
True.
yeah, I guess so. We could expect Tyreek Stevenson back sometime this year. So hopefully, very, very soon.
way you guys use that to combat the Vikings blitz. What about what the Vikings do kind of prevent you from attacking like short, intermediate, middle, with slants or kind of some of those quick routes in the middle of the field?
Yeah, I mean, they pack the paint, so to speak. Some of their coverages are, where it's 3 deep and they got, 2 guys in the middle. So really the open spots on a lot of those are the perimeter. And you certainly can hit some high side pockets on those, which we did with DJ a couple
When?
times. But
They did.
certainly they give
There
those
was
things away.
two
He's gotta
times,
do a
I
real good
think.
job of spitting the ball out there, blocking
Oh,
well on the
all
perimeter,
right.
which we did at times. You saw DJ get a couple nice runs there
Mhm.
towards our bench. There was a couple times, but that's where you can take advantage of it.
On Montez's, the sack in the first quarter, where he was credited for like the whole sack, not the half one, him and Ngakoue were aligned together.
Yeah.
Has having him here, has that allowed you to get more creative with any of like the stunts or any of the pressures that you're asking your guys up front to do?
Yeah, Travis Smith, that was his idea to put those guys on the same side and run that little pick stunt that we had. We ran it a
Funkster.
couple times. We lined up in that same alignment. Did
Appreciate
a couple
you,
other things
Funkster.
out of that.
Hell
Had a nice,
yeah.
I think 3rd or 4th down stop out of that same alignment with a different pressure. But yeah, you definitely need to do that. Anytime you can get a mismatch and put, him on a particular side, you're doing that for a particular mismatch, or you're creating an advantage for somebody else somewhere else. So that's the benefit of having a player like that.
He's so smart.
Matt, when you rewatched the game, were you satisfied with the way the game plan unfolded with the pass?
All right, here we go.
Want to mix in some more downfield shots, or how did you see it when you
There's
went back
Dan.
over it?
Yeah, I mean, you're always wanting more chunks. Explosive plays are where it's at. I think we had 8 explosives, which is, right where we're at in terms of goal-wise. But, we certainly, when you're playing a team that pressures that way and they're vulnerable in the coverage, I believe that we should have more.
You're the
Well,
fucking head
then,
coach.
see, that's so why wasn't it addressed with your offensive coordinator at the half during the fucking game at any point when you thought, hey man, maybe we should take more shots downfield instead of saying fucking horizontal to the line and throwing screen after screen after screen and short pass after short pass. Like you could speak to him in the game, during the game, coach, right? Like, you know, you can make these adjustments. You don't have to stay silent. Stepping on somebody's toes shouldn't be your fucking thought process as a head coach. It's what
Coaches
you
swing
want to
at
see.
each other. Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. You could have made an adjustment. You could have said, "Hey, we need to start going downfield."
Hey,
But
grow
I
a
don't
pair.
think.
Let's go down the field. Come on.
I think he just lets. I think he does at in game. I think he wants to know what's going to be called, but he won't get involved in saying, "No, I want this." I think that's the case.
We had some opportunities to hit some more of those, and we want to take advantage of those.
I know you talked about Roshan a little bit last night, but to put a rookie in a position where he's pass blocking against that sort of blitz, why were you confident that you could do it? And is this something that the timeshare is going to be like this going forward, or is it going to be a game-to-game basis?
Yeah, I mean, Roshan did a nice job, for the most part. There was a couple hiccups in there. The one sack that we did take with the edge pressure. He's just got to be more inside.
Got more nipples, man. He's got an A cup back
he'll
there.
learn that as he goes. He's still a rookie, and he's got a lot of situations.
Start
calling him Nip. Start calling him Nip.
Time in game situations.
They're moves.
So, but he's a heck of
Big
a worker.
Nip.
Super smart, tough. He's real tough.
Big
tough
Nip,
guy.
Matt.
And he's one of our better protectors. So he'll continue to work on that. But in terms of your second part of your question, we're always going to look at the practice. We're always going to look at production, and it's always going to be based upon that.
Health-wise, is Khalil where you want him to be?
What's that?
Health-wise, is Herbert
Yeah.
where you want him to be?
Yeah, he's right where he needs to be in terms of his health. We feel good about that.
What did you think about the Vikings going forward on that 4th and 7? Were you surprised by that?
No. You're always ready for him to go. I'm talking to a bunch of different people on the headset, based on the probabilities of them going for that, on 3rd down. So I'm always set for the 4th down call. Yeah, I'm never surprised by that. We're always ahead of it.
Yeah, we're good. We're on top of it because I'm the best.
The offense capitalizing off the turnovers, that off of Jalen's interceptions, the 2 O-line penalties right away, and then the 3rd down throw where Mooney looked like he was open enough to make, for Justin to connect with him. Which part of that, I guess, needs to be cleaned up more? Like, it seems like the self-inflicted stuff, but also a throw that Justin probably should be able to make.
Yeah, I'm going to go back one step there, then I'll answer your question. The interception should have been, a great return, and we gotta really do a good job. The guys did a good job. We know that's a wall return up the numbers, and really good block by Eddie Jackson on the intended receiver. Everybody knows that you block the intended receiver first, right? And he did a really good job with that. And there's a couple.
Is he talking about the interception or the missed pick six? I think he's talking about the interception. I might have misheard the beginning.
No, I think you had heard it right.
Maine was in position. Brisker was in position for that wall return. And Jalen's got to just take that thing right up the sideline there. And you take it up the numbers, so you have the ability to bend it and have more space. You got that yards from the numbers to the sideline to really create more space for yourself. So that's number one, and we should have it in a better position for our offense. And then to answer your question was, it's not what you want, of course. It's disappointing to be able to move backwards. When you have that, and we have to capitalize on that momentum in those situations where our team has built momentum, and we got to seize the momentum at that point. And that's either,
Dude, I'm sorry. Eberflus is the funniest fucking thing. Oh, I can't wait. We need a T-shirt. Eberflus with 2 nips.
obviously we want touchdown first and, field goal second. And to have negative plays by either a TFL sack or penalty is not desired.
What happened with Tevin on that field goal where he had to come out for a couple series?
For Tevin? Yeah, we didn't have to turn anything in. I don't think there was anything there. I don't know. I asked the medical guys afterward.
Yeah, we could have had 2 pick sixes. Jalen Johnson.
On that right now.
Leg thing?
Again.
Kind of looked like
Yeah.
from the way you've been.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what it was. I don't know what.
Yeah,
it was.
that's another thing too, Dan. Good thing you pointed that out. The discipline end is not there either. The hits,
of the head coach.
Your principles, they're not clicking. It's not. Your defense seems to be working, but why is your team continuously in the top of the league in penalties? Why is your team, not able to have a clean game at least once during the season? Like, I get it. It's hard to go ahead and be mad at some of these calls because there's a couple games where the referees really just just sucked.
Yep.
But overall, I'm not gonna blame it on the refs. Like, yeah, your team is taking a lot of penalties. A lot of penalties. So
Stupid ones.
it's up to you. It's up to them, and it falls on, like I said, it falls on the coaching staff to clean that up. It's his philosophy that was supposed to change that.
I asked him, "Is he okay?" And he said, "Yeah, he's good." So that's all I got.
Man, what did you see on Justin's fumbles? What actually went wrong on those plays for him from a ball control standpoint?
Yeah. The one was what we talked about earlier. Was the one protection. Roshan came across to block the edge, and I thought he could have been just a little bit more poised back there, a little bit calmer in his demeanor. He felt the pressure, and that's really a function of the protection a little bit because Roshan, like I said, needed to be firmer on that side, blocking the edge, and he stepped up right away. Like I said, he had two hands on the ball. I thought it was a good play by the defensive end to strip it. So that was that one. And then the second one when he took off to run, I thought it was a good decision. Take off to run. There was a huge gap in the middle of the defense and a lot of space, for the situation. And as he gets into traffic, he's got to put his clasp pen over the ball. And he didn't do that. And I thought the defender made a really nice play. He put his hat on the football, and it came out.
Man, I don't know if you're into numbers or stats, but your defense is now ninth in yards, but which is obviously a sign of improvement. But you're also 28th in points, which is kind of an unusual disparity. Like I said, I don't know if you're into numbers, but what does that disparity mean to you? What does that say about where your defense is right now?
Yeah. So it's really, of course, defensive coach, looks at it. The non-traditional touchdowns, you take those away, and look at the numbers there. It's probably a little bit better. It's a lot better. So defense is touchdown scored on our defense is right in the middle of the pack. We got to do a better job in the red zone too. We got to own that, and it's really third down. In the red zone, we got to do a better job. So again, this whole thing is for us is a self-scout operation here during this week, and we're going to look at every aspect of our football team, all the situations to improve. But I like where our defense is right now in a lot of ways. We're building momentum. The guys are coming together, and you can certainly feel that. Everybody can feel that, and it's going to be something to watch here.
Sure, they can, Matt.
I do like where the defense is. That's no bullshit. Like I think that this defense by season's end could be probably top of the middle of the pack. I want to say top 10, but I think it'd be around that 11-15 range, around there. But it's up to the offense. It's up to the offense to help the defense out and get them off the field, get them rested when they do a good job, and when they're playing really well. Because you can't have complimentary football if one side is doing the job, bro. And you can't, I know he mentioned it in his post-game presser where he said you got that, you got that complimentary football, and it was just like you got a few series of complimentary football, and the rest of the time the defense is just dominating. So again, it needs to be both sides of the ball. And like I said before, the defense looks great. If their offense could only help them out and save them, even if we go ahead and kick a field goal, right? Let's say just to sustain a long drive to get them some rest. I think you could see some even more or some better defense than they've already shown you. It's looking good in my opinion.
I saw the video of you addressing the team, and we also got to see Justin kind of step in and thank his teammates for kind of having his back in those tough situations. Yeah. That stuff you get to see a lot, but we don't get to see Justin in those moments. What did you make of the way that he just kind of took that responsibility?
Yeah, it was for him to stand up there and to do that in that moment. I think that's special, and it says a lot about his character and about his leadership And it was really neat to see. And the response of the guys, was also really cool to see too. And that was a cool moment.
All right. That was Flus from Monday.
Cool sweater.
Yeah, his cashmere sweater, the Flus cashmere sweater.
Crap. Yeah.
Jackal says it belongs to his wife. Hey, look, man, I listen to those interviews like at least 2 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once when I'm cutting it up, another time when I have you guys here. It's frustrating hearing it once. Imagine listening to it twice.
You gotta waste some time in your life.
Like he's not lying about the defense. It's not bullshit that is a bright spot. But the things that he doesn't say are my biggest issue. The things that he decides that he has to mask with compliments and has to dress up a pig every time it comes to something negative. It's like, come on, just don't. As long as you're not taking that into the locker room and you're actually addressing, flaws and mistakes with your players, I'm like, all right, like this is who you're going to be. But it scares me because it's like, if you're not able to open up and admit that you need to be more accountable or this is your fault in what particular situation or what have you, how am I to think that you're doing that with your players behind closed doors when they need it? You know what I'm saying? When it's called for, right? You could point to Velus Jones being, inactive for a little bit. I still don't trust him. But I would want to see more accountability from this coach with his offense and his offensive coordinator. And he just, like I said, he goes right to the positives, which on a good team would be great. On a bad team, it's like, okay, we know the positive. We've seen some good stuff. Tell us how you're going to fix the things that don't work.
Absolutely right, man. And the proof's in the pudding with the product on the field. They're undisciplined. They have a lot of stupid penalties. And a lot of these things are self-inflicted. And that's just a reflection of the head coach. And I just kind of want to see him walk over to Getsy and just pop him in the face. Just fuck it. Let's go for broke. Just fucking punch him right in the mouth. Let's get it going.
Right in the mouth.
Let's go. But this team is, you hear it all the time. You hear it on the other show, with Phil and Shane, the leadership, attitude is a reflection of the leadership around here. I'm just frustrated as a fan. I feel that Eberflus doesn't do any justice on the microphone. He does not put out any fires. All he does is maybe throw a couple of logs on each one to just stoke this story and narrative that he's created for himself. Because what we're seeing on the field has been better defensively, but offensively we're a rudderless ship, and that's more of a Getsy thing and not an Eberflus thing. But he's the head coach. This fucking dude doesn't understand that for some reason, where he can't just look down the sideline and fucking, like, what are we doing? Come on. Mm-hmm. It's just, I'm so sick of this shit with this guy. I'm sorry.
I mean, miracles do happen. Jackal, you are right, but miracles do happen, I guess, Chewy. Like, they are winnable games, but you've seen how the Bears have executed in winnable games earlier this year. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens. No, I agree with you, Jackal. The frustrating part is that
call him out.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's saying, like you're saying all this stuff. Yeah, we should have had more shots downfield. We should have did this. Coach, you're in control here, right? Like, do you understand? You could go ahead, take your fucking headset off, walk over to the motherfucker and say, hey, we need to take more shots downfield. Yeah. Like, I don't understand where the disconnect is with the communication between him. Do they have a good relationship? Do they talk often? What's the relationship between him and Getsy? Because if you're sitting here telling ESPN 1000 and telling reporters that, oh, yeah, I wish we would have took fucking more shots downfield. Well, why didn't you tell your offensive coordinator in game to take more shots downfield? I don't want to go ahead and get frustrated. We're trying to wrap things up here.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's a good little exclamation point to the what you're trying to say.
You see it. You see the problems. You see the issues
Kevin
that
Warren
we have with this guy. I hope he does.
Poles
I hope he does. I hope. Well, Ryan Poles Ryan Poles to me is going to be behind Eberflus no matter what. That's why I said the decision to get rid of a guy like Eberflus will ultimately come down to Kevin Warren. And
Yes,
I think
I
that's
agree.
why part of the reason why he wants to have more say in this in the football side of things. What's your confusion?
I just as a Bears fan,
yeah,
and seeing the decisions that we've made, and I brought it up earlier. I was trying to just second your point because I really agreed with. I think Kevin Warren is the missing link. I honestly think that Poles was handcuffed with the way McCaskey set up that committee to pick the candidates and all that other shit that Poles had to pick from. But I think Warren is going to really. He's going to really put a stamp on this team this offseason. I think you're going to see just more of his hands involved. I mean, he did a lot when he was the commissioner of the Big Ten or president of the Big Ten. I forget his official title, but, he made some decisions that, ultimately did help that conference, made some that did hurt them as well. But you can't win if you don't play. And sometimes you do strike out if you're trying to make big, try to swing for the fences. So I think we are in good hands with respect to that hire. I do, I give credit to the ownership for bringing him in. I think that was a ballsy move. He's something that we haven't really seen. We had Chummy Chum, our old buddy there.
Ted Phillips.
Ted Phillips running in a sense from behind the scenes, but Warren's there out in the locker room. Hey, I'm here. I'm supporting the guys. Let's do this. Hugging Justin Fields, showing him that love. And I love to see that. You didn't necessarily see that with Mr. Phillips. So I'm hoping for better days moving forward. 4-4 in our last 8. I saw that in the chat. That's 500. Hey, 4-8. Let's see where we can finish. We got to bye a week, get these guys a little more healthier, and Detroit's got to come into Soldier Field and let's see what happens.
Yeah, Detroit in the cold at Soldier Field. I mean, the way we started that game in Detroit, I could see the Bears. I could see the Bears winning. Detroit's defense hasn't been playing well as of late. I can see them winning. I'll save my prediction. We'll just kind of talk about the game. I'll save my prediction for next week. But yeah, I feel like the Bears are close. We're closer to beating Detroit than they were Minnesota. There's just something about Minnesota right now and how they operate that doesn't allow the Bears offense to look good. It doesn't like their defense.
These are just bad matchups.
It's just like, yeah, exactly. It's like, it just seems like a horrible matchup. On the other hand, with the Lions, the problem with the Lions is the issue that the Lions face is that their defense has been slumping, and the Bears, if they can, limit the turnovers and limit the pressure on Fields, can put points up with them, right? They've shown that with that bad defense, they could put points up against bad defenses. And right now, Detroit is struggling, especially with their pass rush. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see where it goes. Thank you, Corn. Appreciate it. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
Man. Thanks, brother.
We'll see where it goes next. I hope that they come in prepared. These extended breaks have not been well to the Chicago Bears. It always seems like they have an extended break and they come out slow, flat.
Try to overthink it.
Yeah, try just doing things that you don't understand. Either doing things that you don't understand or doing the same old shit that pisses you off. And I would want a huge change. I would hope there would be a
big
huge
game for
change,
Detroit, man.
But I don't see them just becoming something different overnight. So it's a big game for Detroit. Detroit will be, prepared. I'm sure
the Packers. Yeah.
I'm sure Dan Campbell's going to tell them, "Hey, man, this team had you by the nuts, and you got to be prepared for them. And if you're sleepwalking into Soldier Field, you might get beat by the Bears." Like that's what I'm sure Dan Campbell's telling his team. And
hell yeah, man.
I'm sure they're going to be hell yeah, man. I'm sure they're going to be ready to go in 2 weeks. But anyway, guys, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you for joining us. It's been a fun week. The pregame show was fun yesterday. I probably won't be able to do many of those with work and such, but we'll see what happens. Maybe next year I get a different schedule and I could go ahead and
Yeah.
do some pregame shows as well.
It'll be
But
fun, man.
anyways, guys, for Chris Jack, actually, before we get going, make sure to check out Keeping It 100 tomorrow with the boys. Should be a great show. Also, Cars Keys on Thursday with our favorite Bears nerd, Matt Carstensen. So make sure you have your nipple flooses out and
Head over to TapeNeverLies.com.
Head over to TapeNeverLies.com. Become a patron. Best $7 you can spend. All the pop-up shows, breakdowns you could want. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us. For Chris Jacko, I'm Ivan Vargas. You guys have been watching another Bears show. Chicago Bears win 12-10. It was ugly, but it's a win. We'll take it.
Corn
right?
Planter, you're the man for that sign, man.
Nipple Floos forever.